Session will discuss registry business. We are going to address, we're going to talk about building a sustainable DNS industry in Africa. So before you, we do have a number of panelists representing different institutions in the domain name system ecosystem in Africa. We have Mouhamet Diop, who is representing the Association of African Registrars. He's going to give a perspective of registrars. We actually have a registry, .bj, represented by Diop from Genesis. We also have the Association of African CCTLDs, that is AFTLD, represented by Alex from NIC Senegal.sn, and we also have Victor CiZA, who gave the keynote speech or address. He is a registrar, the chairman of Afriregister, and he also manages the Burundi registry, the .bi registry. And last but not least, we have Mr. Lucky Masilela, representing Registry Africa or .Africa, as well as the CiZA Central Registry. So all of them are going to address these different aspects of the topic that we are going to discuss now. But before that, I would like to invite Mr. Diop to make a presentation on the CCTLD of Benin.
Mesdames, Messieurs, distingués invités, bonjour.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'd like to wish you welcome to Benin in the framework of the African DNS Forum held in Azalaik Hotel. I'm the organization director of GNSIS that was handed over the management, technical and commercial management of .bj by the operator, by the regulator ASEP. I am invited to make a brief description of Genie and on the axis on which we're going to steer the project so that it meets the expectations of the delegating authority and all stakeholders involved. I would say the whole Benin nation. For this presentation, I will have on my side teammates that I would like to introduce to you. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Donatien Apo, our technical director, who will give us a brief description of the technical architecture of how it's going to be piloted. I would like to introduce you our commercial director, Madam Aima Bintu. Without much ado, the Genie SS is first is a internet service provider having an authorization from 13th of May 2015. It's standing out with its quality offer and customer care, with a partnership with the telecom operator MTN. Genie is able to connect you to the internet so that anywhere you are on a Benin territory, we cover the entire national territory. The last thing, and that brings us together today, is for us to do the local registry. We handed over the management with the delegating, but the delegating authority, that is the regulator SEP. I'd like to talk to you about some advantages that we have and that enable us to keep afloat, by simplified ratio. The leader of the company is the chairman of the board, called Jacob Akinosho, who unfortunately is not available and had wished really to be here this morning, but was unable to make it. I believe the old folks in the internet field know him. He has a rich experience of more than 45 years in the ICT and internet. He was also the managing director of SUBIX PLC, the first internet provider in Benin, and the first chairman of the Association of Internet Service Provider in Benin in 2005 with the participation of Afriregister. You may easily think that and believe that with such a chairman of the board, the company can move forward. Second, assets. I introduce you to the team. You realize that it's a team that's essentially young, that is motivated and competent, and therefore this competence is confirmed by the recruitment and maintenance of the customer with over 95% rate. And we have the partnership with MTN that enables to connect the clients anywhere on national territory that many internet service providers in Benin are not able to do. That's a certain advantage. And also we have the opportunity to develop the .bj as a certain positioning in the ICT environment in Benin. So what are the stakeholders in the management of the .bj? We have the Supreme Authority, of which principal mission is to handle the internet resource on ICANN. Then we have the Regulatory Authority in charge of the administrative management of the .bj. Then we have the registry itself, GNSS, and we have the registrars that we try to accredit and set up, and of course there will be the registrants. Now, what is the commercial strategy that we seek to deploy to meet the objectives? Because we have great ambitions. The first thing that will change here is that our model will be the 3R, the registrar, and the registrant, triple R. Currently we have less than 1,000 domain names registered under the .bj. In terms of delegation, and our ambition is to succeed, is to have 20,000 domain names, and we have to deploy a commercial strategy. This strategy will be based on the pillar, the naming strategy, the price strategy, the sales strategy, the multiplication of sale points, the service package that our company offer, the marketing, aggressive marketing communication plan, the target market, the easiness of registration, and after sales service, how quickly run, so I don't monopolize the floor. The naming strategy, charter, we have to give a prioritization and hierarchy for domain name, and we're able to classify the domain name by type of user, and we have obviously .com.bj that will be dedicated to commercial company, .org.bj that will be dedicated to organizational companies, and you also have And we have all that belongs to the government. That will be under the .gov.bj. All I have to do is that will be at the .mil.bj and education.edu.bj. And also we have a list of the forbidden name. It will be essentially based on the name of municipalities and others. We also have to set up and the sector domain of the users. We have this standard norming strategy will enable us to have statistics. The pricing structure, for the .bj to be attractive, it must absolutely be sold at a competitive price, and the tariff that we are announcing for now is a tariff that will be very close to the purchase name of generic name, that will be 12,500. For the sales forecast, we base ourselves on the database that we have in the Chamber of Commerce and the Investment Promotion and Export Agency, that is the single window for registration of companies in Benin, and is on that basis that we're able to make our estimates that hovers around 20,000 domain names within the next 2 years. As I announced, the registration, the registrars will be accredited and set up throughout the national territory, and we want to use a partnership with APX, that is an entity that has offices in every region. There will be a registrar for .bj. There will also be the possibility to buy the .bj through internet via the electronic payment mechanisms. The other point has to do with complementary services. Supplementary services, we realize that to make .bj attractive, it's not just about giving or to sell it crudely. We want to put at the disposal of any individual or institution that want to acquire as an additional service that we made up essentially of a web platform and two professional mail address that will enable them to begin working. Obviously, the registrar will take over from that point to design the site for the client based on the expectations. That will give us time to concentrate on our core business, that will be essentially the sales of the domain name. We want to engage in a large awareness campaign on the .bj, because we want to have a lot of institutions to understand the necessity once they operate on the Benin territory to be rated on the .bj. We count as well on the support of institutions and ministries so that all the state institutions be able to have the .bj. Obviously, none of that can succeed without us engaging aggressive enough marketing campaigns to make known the .bj and give it more visibility on that aspect. Another aspect, the regulatory authority expects a lot from Jenny and makes national preference effective in all companies. And recruit 95% of companies that carry out the formalities in the single company registrar. To get there as well, our marketing target is made up of major international companies representing Benin, SME, SMI, and institutions in the health sector, young companies and startups. Almost everyone is targeted. One aspect that will change when we are going to deploy our infrastructure is ease to register of registered domain names, and that were able to register directly the domain name wherever in the world through an automatic platform they're going to set up, and with an electronic payment mechanism. And to close, I say the after-sales service will be available 24 hours. I would like to therefore ask my technical director to present quickly the technical architecture that will support these projects. I thank you. Good morning, everyone. Once again, we thank you for your presence at this forum. I'm Donald Shanko. I'm the technical director of the Jenny SaaS company, and based on all that the MD of the company just said, we easily understand that we cannot reach all these objectives without setting up an infrastructure that's quite heavy and robust. And that's the reason why we got inspired from an architecture that which is displayed with two internet entries on the platform. It's redundant in every point of every sense of it. I will talk to you about the equipment to better describe this architecture. We'll talk about the various servers, the implementation of the registry platform, the heart of the registry, the DNS file security, the description of the safeguard system, and backup, and with the technical sheets associated. For the technical sheets, for those who are interested, we'll put at their disposal. That's the technical equipment sheet, and this session is an interaction and experience sharing session. And as said, we are yet to implement physically the platform. All that we're doing is preparing this implementation from the point of view of the servers, the equipment. We count on deploying 5 physical servers for 5 server applications, and therefore we'll set up virtual machines that will work on certain servers. As I said, as I have noticed everywhere in the registries that exist, for most of them, they build the architecture around 2 servers. This is what I noticed was we carried out our research. We have thought of doing it on 4 servers. The first server will host the database and the application of the registry, as well as the internal management of the registry. All that has to do with internal management of the registry. We'll have a part that will install our DNS. We made provision for such a space with the fiber optics, and for such that we can build it behind a radio, microwave connection. We can set up the optics. Fiber optics, the fiber, and we want to build a stand on the metro network set up by Benin Telecom. That was shared by the Digital Development Agency, and we'll have part of the infrastructure that will be set up at Jenny, and the other part at the X point, the action point that is based currently at Benin Telecom. We also have the server for the DNS services, for its replication in Benin Telecom, and the web server and we're in Queens. There will be within replication of Benin Telecom, as well as the virtual server to host the Coca platform. In a nutshell, that in a material front, this is what we've made provision for implementation of the registry platform. Please, next slide. To implementation of the registry platform, the technical platform that we think of implementing for the registration will be COCA. This platform integrates the IPP protocol that facilitates communication between a registry and registrar. We seek to deploy a web platform connected, anchored with the Queen's server that will contain the list of registrars with the services that they provide and an offer, and that presupposes that we need to carry out work with the registrars to know the package that they propose and, as if possible, enable them to stuff this package so that the services be attractive. So we'll set up this platform, this web platform that will be connected to our Queen server. There's an information server that will enable any registrar, whatever it is, whatever its geographical location, as soon as it has internet, it can connect to the platform and look at the list of registrars, choose based on the services borne by the registrar, choose the registrar that's the most interesting, and the operation can be carried out online. We think of facilitating online payment, be it by Visa card, where mobile money payment is quite developed here. We've tried to do work with the registrar through Afriregister that has worked on that, and with whom we have good relations. We cannot talk about infrastructure without talk about the heart of the register. The heart of the register for us, the registry will be based on high availability architecture, because there's a level of redundancy. Because for such a sensitive infrastructure, we cannot allow ourselves or afford to neglect the redundant part. We are ready and fighting to invest enough to build robust infrastructure to bear all the overhead and loaders that can receive. We also talk about online payment. We will set up and implement the DNS5. DNS5 today is a technology that enables us to put electronic signature to authenticate the value of data for users. Is a protocol that is based on authenticity of servers. In case you want to go to the internet, you want to go to a web page. What proves that it's that web page? What proves that is on that that is a server that you requested that is sending the web page? With the DNS5 signature, you are sure that you go to that platform, that server. That guarantees the authenticity of the server and prevents any attack that we know that could collapse the whole DNS system. We cannot talk about infrastructure without talking about the safeguard and backup ambit. We think locally to carry out an automatic backup of the whole system of our data. The area file folder international level want to do that. What talk about the local level? Anytime I talk about equipment is set up engineer, I talk about replication in Benin Telecom, because that's where the action point is located. The backup of this action point is in Fidro Cells, not far from Benin Telecom. So on the whole chain, we have enough redundancy provided for so that the service does not collapse. Locally, there will be backup that will be carried out at the international level. We count with carrying out the backup and with a registry system promoted and steered by the TLD. We want to put a replication, having a backup of all that is Queens and all that is the database in Afrinic. So the goal of all that will be to sustain the function of the BJ in case of disappearance of the organization GNSS, which we do not wish that we're going to remain operational for a long time, but it's just to ensure that just in case one day ASEP says we take over the management from GNS because the objectives are not achieved, that nothing blocked the function of DNS in Benin. So with a few words, this is the presentation of the technical part, knowing that this TNS system is a system that is, it's true that the services